My program intervention is entitled SIPS. It stands for Sugar Sweetened Beverage Intervention Program in School-Aged Children, and my name is Ryan. So nearly 1 in 5 school-aged children are obese. As we know, the rate of obesity continues to climb, and it has almost tripled since the 1970s in children and adolescents alone. Children with obesity are at a higher risk of having other chronic health conditions and diseases that influence physical health. These include asthma, sleep apnea, bone and joint problems, type 2 diabetes, and risk factors for heart disease. And obesity in childhood can also lead to social isolation, depression, and lower self-esteem. So obesity results from excess energy intake from food and beverages. And this occurs when either they're not expending enough energy from physical activity or they're just consuming too much. The increase in consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages is one contributor to childhood obesity. So these drinks can include carbonated sodas, sports drinks, energy drinks, and highly sweetened coffee and teas. And sugar-sweetened beverages contribute 15% of overweight and obese adolescents' total daily energy intake, which is about 300 calories per day. So in a 2010 National Youth Physical Activity and Nutrition Study, it was found that 24.3% of high school students drank a serving, which was a can, bottle, or glass of regular soda per day. 16.1% drank a serving of a sports drink, and 16.9% drank a serving of another sugar-sweetened beverage 1 or more times per day. And sugar-sweetened beverages are the largest source of added sugars in the diet in our youth, and it's one factor contributing to the prevalence of obesity among adolescents in the United States. So this is our 10-week multi-component theory-based intervention for school-aged children between the ages of 12 and 17. The main objective is to reduce the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages among adolescents aged 12 to 17 using the social marketing theory of behavior change. So following the program, participants will decrease their consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages by 50%, choose beverages lower in calories and added sugar, and they will understand the diet or the dangers of added sugar in the diet. So this will be accomplished through nutrition education, beverage demonstrations, and taste testings. We're doing this using social marketing theory of behavior change, which uses both social policy and marketing. So the 4 P's of social marketing are product, price, place, and promotion. Product is the desired behavior change. So for our program, this is to choose beverages lower in added sugars. Price, this focuses on cost versus benefits. So cost would be perceived barriers. So this could be monetary cost, environmental cost, which could be having access to healthier beverages. Psychological cost, as in wanting to fit in, choosing drinks that peers are having. And physical cost, which could just be your taste or preference for sugary drinks. Benefits would be saving money, decreasing energy intake on empty calories, improving your health, having more energy, and it can improve the appearance of skin or acne, which can be especially helpful for high schoolers. It's going to take place at school, so this will occur in both junior high and high school, and it's going to be a school-wide approach. So teachers and cafeteria workers really need to help model the desired behavior change and encourage students to make healthier choices. Promotional items will be nutrition education. So we're going to talk about the effects of sugar-sweetened beverages and obesity. This will occur in the classroom. We're going to use posters and flyers like you can see to the right. Demonstrations, so we're going to do a rethink your drink demonstration and a taste test. And we're also going to have promotions in the cafeteria and student store. So healthier beverages will have more shelf space and they're going to be cheaper than sugar-sweetened beverages. So our hypothesis is that following the completion of a 10-week SIPS program, participants will reduce their consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages by 50% in comparison to their baseline intake. So this will be accomplished through an emphasis on the obesity epidemic, and this will occur through nutrition education. Participants will also choose beverages lower in calories and sugar in place of traditional sugar-sweetened beverages, and this will occur through increased availability of these healthier drinks. And our other goal is that students will understand the dangers of added sugar in the diet. Again, this will help. This will be made through nutrition education. So it's a randomized control trial in the Visalia Unified School District. We're going to launch 1 pilot study in 1 junior high and 1 high school with a sample size of 2,992 students. So these students are going to be divided in half. between the control group and the experimental group, which gives about 1,496 students per group. And that's enough to make statistical significance in our results, which was calculated using an online generator. So groups are going to be divided by grade level. They're going to be randomized and separated into matched pairs for the control group and the intervention group, and half of all students in each grade will receive the intervention. Participant selection will be randomized based on class period, so either the third or fourth period class prior to lunch will be used. And the control group won't receive any nutrition education or be exposed to promotional flyers or incentives. We're going to send recruitment letters to the superintendent of Visalia Unified School District, and we're going to obtain consent from parents and teachers. Students will also have to agree to participate in the study. So teachers who volunteer their classrooms will be given priority. They're giving priority because we're taking 30 minutes of their class time on a weekly basis to give the nutrition education. So they'll receive lessons post-intervention and free beverage samples as an incentive. Students will be incentivized by being given an extra 15 minutes during lunch. This also allows for extra exposure to promotional flyers in the cafeteria without contaminating the control group. So students must be in good physical health and be between the ages of 12 to 17 to participate. Students can't participate if their parents don't allow them to, and students with special dietary restrictions will be excluded just because there are taste testings and other things that might skew the results. The main objective of this program is to reduce the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages among adolescents aged 12 to 17. So we have to take baseline survey to assess prior nutrition knowledge, a baseline food frequency questionnaire on beverage intake, and we're going to provide a series of 30-minute nutrition education presentations and activities on a weekly basis for 10 weeks. So nutrition education will involve background of obesity rates, health consequences of obesity, causes of obesity, and consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages. All sessions must be attended, and makeup sessions will be held for students who have to miss a day. So this is an outline of our nutrition education. You can see it's 10 weeks long. They aren't all lectures. Some of them are videos, demonstrations, taste testings, goal setting, things like that. So nutrition education is really going to focus on cost versus benefits and focus on the price of the intervention. We really want to emphasize how important the benefits are, how it's going to improve weight and health status, improving skin appearance, and improving energy levels. And we need to make sure that these benefits outweigh the costs for the students. So one way to do this is through a demonstration, rethink your drink. So students are going to be given a bag of sugar and measuring cups, and they're going to have to measure out how much sugar they think is in each item without looking at the label. And then once they do that, we'll tell them the real answer, and they'll have to measure out the real answer and compare to theirs and see what they found and how they feel about the sugar-sweetened beverages afterwards. They're also going to do a taste test, so they're going to gain exposure to healthier alternatives. Students will taste each drink and write down reactions to the flavor of each beverage and analyze likes and dislikes of each beverage, and then they're going to compare it to the sugar-sweetened beverages. So this will be in comparison to Crystal Light, sparkling water, fruit infused water, diet soda, kombucha, and coconut water. And then we're going to have baseline survey and food frequency questionnaires in both groups. We want to know what everyone's current nutrition knowledge is and all of their dietary patterns, but the control group won't receive any nutrition education or participate in any demonstrations. So they shouldn't be exposed to the promotional flyers because they're going to have a delayed lunch. This is one example of the promotional flyer. It just talks about drinking smart. So you can see the soda has 201 calories and 52 grams sugar, whereas the sparkling water has 0 calories and 0 grams sugar. We'll be using quantitative and qualitative data to analyze our evaluation. Quantitative data will involve surveys and drink sales. Surveys will be taken at baseline, mid-intervention, and post-intervention. And drink sales will be at baseline and post-intervention as well, so we can see what choices are being made and who's making them. Qualitative data will involve observation, so naturalistic observation during breaks and meal periods, and interviews and focus groups post-intervention to see if the program was successful. Demographics will also be collected on age, grade level, ethnicity, gender, and anthropometrics. So you can see a chart here with our outcomes, our evaluation instruments, and our statistical analysis. So for example, our main objective is to have participants decrease their consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages by 50% in comparison to baseline data following the program intervention. And we're going to evaluate this using surveys, drink sales, and food frequency questionnaires. And then we're going to run statistics on frequencies, t-tests, and ANOVAs. So we're going to analyze the data using SPSS, and like I said, we're going to run t-tests, frequencies, correlations, and ANOVAs. And the ANOVAs will help differentiate changes made between grade levels. And the program will be successful if consumption decreases by 50% and it's found to be statistically significant with a p-value less than 0.05. Our budget is going to be about $87,460,000, and the target funder is the California Department of Public Health and the CDC. You can see a breakdown of costs below in this chart. And our sustainability, this program is going to last by continued use of promotional flyers and posters, reinforcement of nutrition education on a monthly basis, lower drink prices for healthier beverages, annual surveys to compare dietary changes, and again, it's going to cause a lasting impact on students by emphasizing cost versus benefits. So we need to make an impact so students know why they're making the behavior change, and again, emphasize that it's a school-wide approach. That way students don't feel pressure to consume sugar-sweetened beverages. I volunteered at LD Menta High School, which is part of Visalia Unified School District. I observed the lunch hour and student preferences. I watched them choose their beverage selections, and I saw which choices were offered in the cafeteria and the student store. I took a look at the vending machines and the accessibility of beverages, and I observed the third period class before lunch. And I found that lunch was very chaotic and busy, and it wouldn't work to have naturalistic observation be done by one person because there's just too much going on. You can't really observe what drink choices are being made. I also found that students really like sports drinks, and they often choose what their friends have. So it's important to really emphasize the school-wide approach and help with the peer pressure of sugar-sweetened beverages. And then to emphasize how much sugar is in drinks, because they might not realize how much sugar is in a sports drink. And then I realized that a lot of students leave campus during lunch. They also bring back sodas from nearby restaurants. So it might be helpful to have other restaurants nearby on board with the program. Third period class before lunch was kind of chaotic. Students became restless and less engaged in class, I think because they were hungry and wanting to go on break. So it might be better to have nutrition education in a different class period instead of doing it before lunch, because it was hard to keep them under control. And then these are my references.